What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update for you guys today, and there is talk about potential incoming centre-backs today. Ali Gold is reporting that there is a growing expectation Spurs will make a bid for Fulham's Tosin Adarabioyo as one of the centre-back arrivals. However, with other clubs interested, it is a situation that requires them to move sooner rather than later in the window. The player is understood to be keen on a move to Tottenham if the move does arise. Adarabioyo is also appealing, as he will count as one of the homegrown options in the Spurs squad. He also goes on to say that Tapsoba and Van der Ven are in a far higher price category, with Adarabioyo costing less because he has only 12 months remaining on his contract. Longley is expected to be cheaper still. Barcelona are still looking to offload him, so Spurs going for the cheaper option once again.
I'm just getting sick and tired of all this centre-back talk, to be honest. Just make a bloody move, Tottenham. What is going on? Well, the 24th of July, the Premier League is not that far away, the start of the season. What is taking so long to make them? There's a growing expectation.
They're waiting to get centre-backs out. That's what's going on.
There's a great expectation that Dyer is going to be starting the first game of the season. That's what I'm expecting at this time. I'm sick and tired of all these reports. They're tentatively, they're looking, there's an expectation. Just, what is the hold-up? What is the hold-up?
Are you not used to this by now?
Like, I don't understand. I don't understand what they're waiting for. Just make a move.
They're clearly waiting to get centre-backs out. This is the way Tottenham do their thing for some strange reason.
We didn't wait to sell Lo Celso and Ndombele to get Maddison in. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Just get him in. I don't understand. Sanchez is leaving. Rodon's not going to be here. Like, just get your targets.
They've got this strange thing about the centre-back position. This has been happening for many years now, where we've been told we're going to spend so much money on these centre-back positions, priority position, and it's always the last thought in our transfer business. I don't get it.
Makes no sense to me, and if we are only going to go for one of Tapsoba or Van der Ven, if we're for sure only going to go for one of them, then why are we? What's the wait on Tosin then? If we're definitely going to go for him, why are we waiting around? If we need a homegrown player as well, if we have identified him, then just go for it. Look, I'm not even that excited about Tosin. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good centre back. I don't think he moves the needle massively for our back line, but I guess he's good cover. But why are we? If he's not going to be that expensive and he's homegrown and you're using him as backup and he's cheaper, so we're going to go for him and one of Tapsoba Van der Ven, then what's the wait? What are we waiting for?
I think
it's 24th of July.
I think the only one that moves the needle dramatically in a short amount of time is Tapsoba. He's the only one that comes in and revolutionises this defence straight away. I think Van der Ven, I think you're going to have to wait for him to bed in. He's still a very young player, and you don't know how quickly he's going to take to the Premier League. Adarabioyo, I mean, I like him. He's a good player. I think he's got good qualities, but he is coming in as a backup option to Cuti Romero, which I think is a good move. I think there's two good players on the right-hand side, but that still leaves us very short on the left-hand side. We've got no one to play there competitively, and if you're going to bring in Van der Ven and Tosin, and those are the two players that we're going for, does that tell you that we're going to be very sound defensively moving forward this season? It tells me that it's going to be like a bit of a waiting game to get these guys up to speed.
I think we'll improve, because I think Van der Ven, as much as he's young and he's going to need a bit of time, his profile in terms of how quick he is and his ability on the ball, I think will definitely immediately improve us, but it's not going to be the end game kind of thing. It's like he'll get us to be better defensively, but whether it'll be enough to hit our targets or whatever this season or whatever they are, that's another thing. But I think it will improve us.
Of course it's going to improve us, but you don't see Van der Ven like flourishing. I see him flourishing, but not to see his full capabilities for like a year or two at least.
Yeah, of course, he's young. But I still think even him not in his peak just yet, I still think that will improve us.
Of course it does, because on the left-hand side we've got tragic defenders. That's the honest truth of it. Most things would improve us right now. But look, it looks that Ali Gold is saying that there is a growing expectation Spurs will bid for Tosin Adarabioyo. Let's move on and let's talk about the midfield situation now, as Nazar Kinsella saying that Conor Gallagher is ready to leave Chelsea after being deemed surplus to requirements, with Tottenham and West Ham leading the fight for his signature. So nothing new there really.
And for me, I wouldn't even. I mean, look, I like Conor Gallagher and I would sign him, but I don't think it's a priority. I don't know why we would spend any money on him right now. Even if we do sell Højbjerg, I don't see why we would spend money on Conor Gallagher right now when clearly we have to weigh up what priorities we have in the squad, and we need that centre-back situation sorted. I want all money right now concentrating in that area, and we've got right now centre mids who can play in the middle. We don't need a Conor Gallagher. He would be a nice cherry on top, but we don't need him right now. He's not massively important. So I'm not going to be angry if we sign him, but I don't want to see Conor Gallagher here and then only one centre-back.
Yeah, I completely agree, but the only thing I can think of is why we're chasing Conor Gallagher. Maybe some other of the midfielders like Giovanni Lo Celso, Tanguy and Ndombele are heading out the exit door as well, and if they go, then obviously we need another midfielder as one of the priorities.
Right, but that's if they go. Like
But there might be stuff going on behind the scenes.
There might be, but I wouldn't I'm just saying I wouldn't concentrate my effort in trying to sell Lo Celso and Ndombele, bring in Gallagher, and I would rather keep Lo Celso or Ndombele and not get Gallagher, and then have the centre back issue sorted, rather than be starting to concentrate on that one. I don't think it's a priority.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. I guess we just don't know where these players' heads are at of Tanguy and Gio, and we're not there behind closed doors. So maybe something is happening in the background on that situation, why we are pressing ahead with someone like Conor Gallagher. But let's move on and let's talk about Ashley Phillips once again. We told you the move has broke down. Ali Gold has given us an update on it today, saying Spurs were expected to seal the deal for around $3 million for the highly rated England under-19 international, with a plan to fly the teenager out for the second half of the club's tour in Asia. However, the deal has now stalled. It is believed to have broken down at this moment, but a hefty amount now being asked in add-ons, which raises the fee considerably. It is understood to be the sticking point. Phillips has only 8 championships appearances under his belt. For the 6'3" centre-back was due to be part of Postecoglou's first team squad as he continues to develop, although he is not expected to be one of the main 2 defenders the club are looking to bring in this transfer window. So he's saying it's not broken down completely, just stalled at this moment in time.
Yeah, but I don't understand what could have changed. Did you have an agreement or you didn't have an agreement? Did they change the terms? And what in terms of add-ons, if you're talking about significant add-on fees, but surely, like, why is that such a big deal for us? Because the add-ons will probably be after a certain amount of appearances, which means he has to have done well at us to have for those add-ons to kick in. So, like, for an 18-year-old, if you're paying, I don't know what the upfront fee is, but if the add-ons take it to, I think they're saying 9 million, the add-ons would take it to, like, is that really massive? You're not paying 9 million, you're paying 9 million if the add-ons are met, and I'm sure the add-ons are pretty significant for an 18-year-old defender, so I don't see a big issue with it. But I don't know, if they already agreed a deal and now they're reneging it, then I understand why we would pull out.
So they're playing Daniel Levy at his own game. I mean, how many times has Levy done this in transfer dealings? You know what I mean? It's only right that someone tries to play him at his own game. But look, I think that if you really believe that this guy can be the future and he's going to be a top centre-back in years to come, then just get the deal done. Next up, by the way, there's just been some, Nazar Kinsella has just given an update on Conor Gallagher, and he says the fee that Chelsea are looking for are £35 million. Would you say that's good value?
I don't think it's a terrible deal for someone of Conor Gallagher's quality and age, and how he would fit into the system. I think he's okay. I think it's overpaying a tad, but it's not like massively overpaying. So I don't think it's a bad deal if we get a similar fee for Højbjerg.
Yeah, you're looking for a player that's got a few England caps in the Chelsea ranks, had a really good season at Crystal Palace. I think if he doesn't have this season at Chelsea, which everyone was terrible at, I think you're probably saying 35 is a good fee.
Yeah. Based on his season at Palace?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say 35. I wouldn't say it's a good fee. I think it's a fair fee.
All right, let's move on and let's talk about Harry Kane. We brought you all the news surrounding Harry Kane last night, and Damasio and Nathan Gissing are reporting that Bayern have internally discussed the idea of including a potential buyback clause after 2 to 3 years in a deal for Spurs' Harry Kane in the hope to satisfy Daniel Levy. But what do you think the give and takes are of that?
Well, I think it probably satisfies Levy in a way that if they know in a few years' time, it will say let's say the buyback clause is in 2 years' time, they know they have a buyback clause of, say, I don't know, 50, 60 million, whatever, for example, then I think it's a lot more palatable to let Kane go for a couple of years, go to Bayern, win some trophies, then know you have the option to bring him back, and maybe in a couple of years' time we might be in a different position. He might be willing to come back to the Premier League. He still will want to break that Premier League, Alan Shearer's Premier League record. I'm sure even in 2 years' time that's going to be in the back of his mind. I believe that Kane is still going to be able to play until his mid-30s and be at the top of his game. So I think maybe on that basis that Levy might be more willing to negotiate a lower fee with Bayern if that kind of clause is there, because it's a lot more palatable with the thought of Kane coming back in the future. Without that buyback clause, in a couple of years' time, if he wants to leave Bayern, then all of a sudden he could go to United or whatever. I guess technically he's still good because he could always reject Spurs, but at least we'd have that option, whereas no one else would. So we'll always have first refusal, and maybe that I guess I wouldn't say it's a massive positive if they included it, but I think it's a little sweetener, I guess, that maybe could bring some goodwill between the sides in what's going to be a very tough negotiation, because Bayern don't want to go to the fee that we were looking at, but we want the best fee for our best ever player. So it's quite an emotional decision, as much for Spurs as much as it is a financial one to whether to sell him or not. So I think it's going to be a tough negotiation either way. Maybe it's a bit of a sweetener, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be what's going to really tip the balance.
Do you think that if he goes to Bayern and then potentially comes back in 2-3 years without winning the Champions League, it's been a bit of a waste of time for him?
No, because he's going to have some trophies, and no one can say to him you don't have any trophies. And I think that probably plays on him a bit. The fact that he has not even a League Cup or an FA Cup to even speak of, that must be a bit of a weight. So at least he can, I've won a league title, and even if he ends his career, he's got a league title under his belt, and he can look back at that and say, and he's got that trophy.
Romano has just tweeted, by the way, and he says that Man United working on Højlund at this stage, so no Kane bid will be coming in, and Bayern will send a new bid for Harry Kane. So
I don't think
third bid coming in.
Yeah, I don't think United is going to happen. I think we're going to. Our stance, I think, is only a bit not softened, but we're really only open to it because of Bayern. I don't, in terms of this whole narrative, this whole ultimatum thing. Either you sign a contract or sell now. I don't think that means to Man United, in my opinion. I think unless United come in with a ridiculous offer, I'm saying 120, 130, something like that, probably maybe even more, I don't think we consider selling to Man United, and I don't think they would do that for a player with 1 year left on his contract. So I really just don't see the United thing at all as being realistic.
Agreed. Let's talk about some potential replacements for Harry Kane, and Sasha Tavoleri is reporting that Randall Kolo Muani is the priority target for Tottenham in Harry Kane's replacement. Interest is huge and talks on player side have just started. I understand this deal could happen as ENIC have given the green light for Daniel Levy to sell Harry Kane. The deal could be worth around 80 million euros. Frankfurt have already discussed this with clubs in the past, but not yet from Spurs. And the Frenchman is very keen on the Tottenham move.
Yeah, he would be a great replacement. He really would. I've been so impressed with how he's played in the Bundesliga last season. He was quite good in Liga before that as well. He's still 23, had a really good impact at the World Cup. I think he's a versatile forward who can play that number 9 position really well. He got, I think, not only did he get 15 goals, but also got 11 assists as well last season. So he's also good at his build-up play as much as he is with his finishing and forward playing ability. So for me, he would be expensive. You're probably looking at the bulk, if not all, of the Kane money going on one player, which is that the way you want to go? That's up for debate. But if we were to get him through the door, I think we would have a very good replacement for Harry Kane.
The only way I accept spending the whole amount of the Kane money on another striker is if we still get the top centre-back targets. If we're kind of pushing away our centre-back targets, so we just go for another striker where we do have options in that position already, even if Kane does leave, then I'll feel a bit let down by that, because the centre-back targets need to be the first and foremost priority, never mind of Kane staying or going.
I agree. I think we could play a year with Son and Richarlison as our number 9 options, and that could be a satisfactory solution for the time being, not to say in the long term, but at least in the short term. I think they could get goals. I think they could do a good job there. So as much as replacing Harry Kane is obviously very important, if we do that by sacrificing our defensive options, then I don't think it's worth it in the short term.
Agreed. And let's move on to the last story of the update, and that is regarding Davinson Sanchez. Pippa Sierra is reporting that Sanchez is very close to becoming a new Spartak Moscow player. There is already an agreement with Tottenham, and they hope to close the Colombian's personal terms in the next few hours. And the defender does not look badly on his arrival in Russian football. And Romano has just confirmed that as well, saying that Spartak Moscow have submitted a €12 million bid for Sanchez. Talks are at an advanced stage with Tottenham. Deal still under discussion, but Russian side are optimistic that this is going to go through now.
And that'll be great. That'll be great for us. Hopefully we can get this sorted and move on to, maybe this is the hold up, getting people out the door, and then we can finally push the button on one of our centre-back targets. But I think 12 billion, it's not a great fee, but I think it's for what he's shown and for our desperation in getting rid of him. I think it's a fine fee. It's not even important what the fee is. We just got to get him out the door, get the wages out, and so we can focus on improving that area. And I think maybe that's what we're waiting for. I'm holding out hope. This is what we're waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, to get Sanchez out for 12 million and to bring in Tosin for around a similar price, you've got to say that's great business.
Yeah. I would say that would be an upgrade, yeah.
So there you have it. That is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we've brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.